Hello everybody, this is the 4th day here of the Hitbox Challenger by Razor. We have LondonCons again versus LemdonDogs. Sorry for the delay. LC as well as LD I think, or not just LC, but even I was a tiny bit late. A lot of real life stuff coming our way. So yeah, let's go into this with just, How much delay do we have, Grandis? How bad are we? 15.
15 minutes. It's pretty bad, but we'll be fine. We'll get into the series. It's best of three between London Conspiracy and LemdonDogs. What's on the line? $300 for whoever takes this series, and it's a rematch of a couple days ago.
Well, I think we have to redo that call because you sound horrible. Like.
All right.
Now.
Better?
I don't know. Say something.
Hello.
Yeah, that sounds much better. Before you sounded like you had your microphone wrapped around with toilet paper or something.
Well, nothing's changed. I swear, there's no toilet paper on my mic.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, we'll get into this game. It's London Conspiracy versus LemdonDogs. London Conspiracy in the previous matchup against LemdonDogs in this tournament did lose 2-0, but between stand-ins and other circumstances, I don't think that's going to be the case today. I, at the very least, expect London Conspiracy to be able to take one game off of LemdonDogs, and I think they are probably favorited to win this series.
Yep. I mean, London Conspiracy and LemdonDogs, this becomes really like the El Clasico sort of this kind of league, because London Conspiracy, they beat LemdonDogs in a very convincing fashion in a Racer Thing Fest in Serbia, where I was also like hanging out with both teams, and we went into this challenger and say it like LemdonDogs, they took the first game very convincingly, and the second game London Conspiracy was just about to come back, but then we had some disconnect internet issues. We remade the game, but we lost like 4 or 5 minutes or something, and those 5 minutes included like really good fights by London Conspiracy, so the game was remade, and the outcome was of course a tiny bit influenced. I think LemdonDogs was back to like original advantage, and yeah, I think that's why London Conspiracy really had a hard time in that second game of the last series. But now they want revenge. They're here to claim the throne again against LemdonDogs. So LemdonDogs was already like, oh no, not again London Conspiracy. But yeah, today it's time for the bill to pay.
Yeah, let's start things off with a Shadow Fiend ban coming out from London Conspiracy and Lishrak, Queen of Pain ban from LemdonDogs. It'll leave first pick Tusk available to London Conspiracy, a very popular hero, and for good reason too, and then a first pick Naga from LemdonDogs. Now that to me is pretty interesting. Naga Siren pops up every once in a while, especially as a support and counter to Undying, and every once in a while as a farming core, but usually not as the first or second pick.
Absolutely. Naga Siren, first pick, that could be pretty much anything. That also means London Conspiracy definitely not gonna go for an Undying. Like, that's just not gonna happen. You don't draft the Undying into Naga Siren unless you're really confident. Which London Conspiracy is, and they can be, because they had an amazing season. Still have to see. This could be a support Naga Siren and a Rubik. It would add up nicely with the Telekinesis and the Net together. Even level 1 Net is just fine. Naga Siren also like someone who can transition into a very late game then and make a difference. I have to see. At the moment I think London Conspiracy either a second utility hero or they just secure a core, which could be the Storm Spirit or the Gyrocopter if it really comes down to cores.
Yeah, there's still a lot of really good heroes left in the pool for them to pick through, and they're going to take their time with it. Already it's a pretty slow draft from both of these teams. Both of them have eaten into a little bit of the reserve time, so yeah, it's very curious to see London Conspiracy are taking so much time with this next pickup for themselves. I think it's just going to settle down to be something like the Gyrocopter you're mentioning.
Yep, they go
bounty.
for a bounty.
Fair enough.
Okay, the gold is incoming.
Yeah, it's a very popular hero, and for good reason. A great one to have on your side when you're brawling early, and that's a scenario where Tusk really thrives. So I think it's a good way for London Conspiracy to start off their draft. Yeah, especially with Naga Siren and Rubik being very defensive supports, although they do have Rubik against Bounty Hunter, and you can steal track and turn that into your favor. More often than not, should be London Conspiracy getting the jump on a LemdonDogs, and they might just be able to burst down the Rubik before track really becomes relevant for the Radiant side.
Yep, and we go into the second ban rotation now. Okay, offlaners are going out, Bloodseeker. I think both of them could ban out cores just like that, and No, they just don't want to have a good offlaner. Like, some teams really are heavy. Some really heavy. I don't know, not affinity. What's the opposite of affinity?
I don't know. Hate.
Hate.
Or
You're not good at this, Grandis.
I can't think of a word with more finesse to describe that.
Yeah, no, but they really hate the playmakers that could come out of the offline, and of course the Clockwork is someone like that. The Darkseers, to be honest, I thought they had a bit, or they gotten a bit love in the last patch, and we also saw some nice Darkseers. I mean, for laning definitely is nice, but what I kind of miss is, like, even with the buffed wall and whatnot, it's still not working out. We had yesterday, I think, or the day before, I can't even clearly remember, but we had some nice clashes with the Darkseer where he got 4-man, 3-man walls, and at some point teams were just not impressed anymore. The illusions, they just didn't scale really well into the game, so I don't know, I have a bittersweet taste with the whole Darkseer thing at the moment. It's really just some utility early on, but I think he declines really fast.
It combos so well with the Naga Siren, though. I think it's worthy of the ban coming out from LondonCons. Probably one of the better offlaners still available in the pool. Maybe they could have banned something like the Spirit Breaker instead, but regardless, we're going to see Gyrocopter pickup coming out from LemdonDogs. No big surprises there. Gyrocopter's going to be a good pick almost no matter what.
Yep, Gyrocopter, Naga Siren, so I don't think they're going to push a Gyrocopter through with the Naga Siren core, so I think we have our Naga Siren finally there pushed into a support role, and I got Yogurt on my screen. Jesus Christ. For all those who wondered why we were so a tiny bit late, besides LondonCons, of course, being a bit late, was a simple reason that I managed to actually explode an entire bucket of yogurt onto my keyboard, onto my screen, onto my microphone, onto like every single thing on my desk here. So yeah.
I have no idea how you managed that,
yes,
but Heflamoke delivers.
I should have made a picture before I clean it up, but oh lord. It's a mess. Like, if the camera is horrible, guys, that's because my hands are stuck to mouse and keyboard and I can't do anything else.
Well, the Zeus for LondonCons is going to be another one of those heroes that definitely does benefit when you have a bounty hunter inside the game. They come online at very similar times whenever you get Zeus with his max out Thunderbolt. Bounty hunter can very easily set up some quick burst kills for the mid lane matchup, and yeah, we'll just have to see how LondonCons end up laning this. It's theoretically possible that this is a support Zeus, but I'm kind of getting the feeling LondonCons want to give him a little bit more room in levels.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Zeus, like, sometimes I always say, like, oh damn it, what they gonna do when the BKBs are on? But once the BKBs are like on a 5-second cooldown, the Zeus still scales quite nicely because of the percentage base damage. Sometimes the Gyrocopter, for example, is a hero that not always goes directly into stats. Sometimes we see some greedy builds where they go just one stat at him and then a lot of damage. But yeah, this Gyrocopter of course has to be careful. When it comes to healing, now suddenly we have the Undying coming in, so there's a Tombstone, there's a Soul Rip, it could damage and heal quite a lot. And LondonCons is coming up also with a second core, I think. That's a Bristleback. This might be safe lane Bristleback, Tusk offline, Zeus in the mid with a Bounty Hunter roaming plus whatever else they think might be viable. To be honest, a Witch Dog might be nice.
Yeah, there's so many different options for LondonCons. Their heroes are very flexible when it comes to how they lane them. You can throw the Zeus to the mid or as support, or even just sack him in the offlane, get some level 0, although that's probably the least likely option. Everybody can go pretty much anywhere, but for LemdonDogs, this Undying is very scary, as both of the traditional counters to that Tombstone have been taken away. And LondonCons heroes are very allergic to the Tombstone. They don't have a great way to kill it off. Bristleback eventually gets enough physical damage to where he can, but they're all fairly melee heavy. They have to get in close to get their damage output through, and that's going to make this Undying a very threatening pick.
Yep. To be honest, I think the Witch Dog might even be a nice thing, because if the Maledict comes up, you have a lot of heroes that can really go for a big punch. That is Zeus, that is Bounty Hunter, Janata, Shuriken Toss, Walrus Punch, etc. So multiple Maledicts, for example, like even regardless of the Death Ward, is I think a nice thing to have. The only thing I don't like is at the moment that they don't really have a really good combo to get rid of Tombstones. And if they get rid of Tombstones, they still have to deal with the Naga Song. The Gyrocopter has a perfect setup. It's very interesting. And for the mid, they ban out the Storm. I'm surprised he made it that long, but instead they just go for the Templar Assassin. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I think TA is a pretty good pick here. There's a lot of targets on the enemy side it can be blown up at the start of the fight. Bounty Hunter and Zeus especially are susceptible to that, and there's not very many heroes left in the pool that can really punish a Templar Assassin, especially if the matchup is a Zeus. Zeus struggles so very much against TA. London Conspiracy could, in theory, pick up a different mid hero, maybe go for like a Razor instead, which could secure them in the laning stage, but I'm not sure if they're very interested in that. I don't know. This is pretty hard. I like LemdonDogs draft quite a bit.
Yeah, to be honest, I really have a good feeling with LemdonDogs draft, because regardless what they draft right now, Lone Conspiracy, I just don't see any support that could really make that big of a difference. They will have problems with refraction removal. Good thing is, of course, they have a track against the TA, but still. Okay, now it gets interesting.
Yeah, it's a Tinker for London Conspiracy. In lane, he does pretty well against TA. With the laser mischance, it's very hard for Templar Assassin to kill off the Tinker by yourself, and Marcher of the Chains can deal with refraction pretty easily. So although, at face value, it looks like a TA-dominated matchup, although she probably will win the lane, she shouldn't crush the Tinker, especially since he should have some stacks to fall back on inside his woods. It's an interesting pick, to say the least. Combined with the Bounty Hunter, you can set up a lot of ganks with bots too, if that ever becomes an option for the Tinker, and yeah, very, very curious. It is going to bump the Zeus or the Tusk into a support role, however, and London Conspiracy's heroes do need quite a lot of experience in general, so yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to get that.
I'm thinking at the moment about the Tinker, how he's going to survive against that Templar Assassin, plus potential rotations. I actually have a bad feeling. If Nagas Iron Rubik rotates, I don't think the Tinker can actually do something against it. He will go for the lasers, will skip the rockets and go for March of Machines, because that's just the best thing you can have at this point against refractions. That's the feeling I got at this point, but okay, let's just introduce them really fast, because I'm really interested in how the lanes unfold. We have Skylark here on the Tusk going into the offlane. Of course, Dawn, aka Kaiser, is gonna be in the mid with the Tinker. Behind him, there's Spartan. Spartan is gonna rotate all the time. We have maybe next time on the Zeus, that is a support Zeus. Very interesting one. Madara on the Presso back, and that is.
And for the Radiant side, yeah, yep. LemdonDogs going to be here. Eris Loco on the Undying. Rubik going to be handled by Zeroji. E-Skills on the Templar Assassin. Steph Style on the Naga Siren. And Gyrocopter by Curly.
Yep. And I just noticed, like, I gave the Warren guy credit on my overlay. It still says Michael Loris. So, Grandis, from now on, you are Michael Loris. I will refer as Michael Loris to you. That's easier than actually changing the overlay.
That's completely fine.
So, Mike, how was your day? Okay, no.
It's been going alright. Let's go into this game.
I changed it. Everything's alright.
Okay. All is right in the world. Back to GrandisV we are, and up to the top Arun spot. Looks like there might be some sort of contention coming out from either of these teams, but the Zeus and Bristleback should be very afraid. Oh, Curly, spotted out by the Bounty Hunter, will get hit a couple of times by this Bounty with the Orb of Venom, but it looks like an even Bounty split for either of these teams. Mid lane will start off on exactly the same footing. Bounty Hunter's going to keep on chasing Curly. Yeah, very, very persistent.
Very persistent. He wants to force Curly out, but Curly is like, nah, you know what, I'm not gonna, be forced into any skill for you, waste my mana whatsoever. It's just not gonna happen. Bounty Hunter might actually find the Rubik there as well. I mean, there's a vision, it's daytime, but well, Rubik just gives him a little punch, and they know where the Bounty Hunter is, which also means they know there's potentially some warding already going on for camps, whatnot. At least he's gonna block it here at the 30-second mark, and that's not gonna be a pull, at least not the first pull.
Yeah, Rubik is currently sitting on 1 sentry ward, so they might be able to catch out the Bounty Hunter, but mid lane, Tinker going very aggressive against the TA. She went for Sideblades first, and that is going to hurt her lane a little bit for this first little while, but man, everybody's trading blows in all of these lanes. Bristleback dropping low, Bounty Hunter dropping low, and jeez, it's hard to keep up. LemdonDogs are getting an edge across the map.
Spartan is under a sentry ward. He knows that. Krilly pretends he does
Badera
not know.
up in top lane. Ooh, the Bristleback down to 10 HP by the Naga Siren.
Oh, so much damage he gets here at this point, just because he has no reduction whatsoever. There's the Undying, wants to get a decay in. Oh, there's the Riptide spam, and with the Riptide, the right clicks, they hurt so much, especially with free stacks on the Undying, and now it's Boots versus no Boots, but the Undying is not going forward. I think he could really just keep harassing, but at the moment they just go for the right click spot him. By the way, it was a small mistake by me. I thought this was actually a sentry ward by LemdonDogs, but it's not. It's the other way around, so he was completely safe where he is.
Yeah, across the board, LemdonDogs are getting a slight edge when it comes to those damage trades, but the lanes as a whole are looking pretty even. That's going to help out LemdonDogs quite a bit getting that first blood, but Rubik getting caught out bottom lane. Really nice ice shards coming out from the Tusk. They'll lift up Spartan, pull him back into the Rocket Barrage. That's going to be 1 kill for the Radiant side. Skylark and Snowball over in his Roji will make that 1-for-1 trade. And I think Skylark should be able to get out of here alive, even though Rocket Barrage is going to do quite a number. It'll be dropped down to about half, but now he wants to turn on to Grill. He throws 1 punch his way. That's about all he can do.
Well, I guess the mid is kind of normalized at this point. Like, the start was very interesting with Psyplates first, and then, yeah, just dealing with a lot of Tinker damage, but now everything should be fine. Out top.
Head up top.
They go
Madara
again.
cut out with the Tombstone. They're just going to be able to punch him down. This Brustback is not having a good time at all.
No, he can't really establish a presence in lane. He has to be so careful, and with the net and the Tombstone together, plus of course the increased level they had just from First Blood and everything, this is just not going well. With this they can just even keep on pushing like a lot, and a Naga farmed, as in like even a Naga support farm, that is really bad news.
Yeah, this is Naga Siren as the support's weakest stage is the laning stage, but when you partner with the Undying, probably the strongest laning hero, that weakness isn't really there anymore. Spartan's in mid lane, going to be getting some eyes onto the Templar Assassin. Actually killing off is pretty difficult, and I don't think it's going to happen, but on the other side, the Courier might take 1 hit from these illusions, not even going to be that. Now that the bottles are out for both of these heroes, I think this lane is going to equalize, but Templar Assassin should get a slight edge when it comes to farm. Oh, Bounty Hunter, he gets the Courier snipe. Well done by the Bounty. Alright. Well, the lanes will go back to the way they were. After getting that Courier snipe, that's going to help out mid lane especially a lot, even though Templar Assassin does have her bottle. Without being able to bottle crow against the Tinker, as long as the rune control is there for London Conspiracy, things look pretty scary. Up on top, Roseback's going to post up against the Undying. Undying very low on mana, although he does have some stick charges to his name. Madara has found himself a little bit more wiggle room. Bottom rune spot going to be set on by the Tuscan Bounty, and hey, it looks like Heflamoke's back. That is going to help out quite a bit. Tinker should be able to at least get a bottle refill here.
Yep, still just some settings here in the background, and it's like there's always a green light. When I'm busy, then there's a green light somewhere going on that everybody needs something. Either way, well, at the moment the Bounty Hunter is still grabbing just some nice experience here and there, which is good for him because he's already level 3. That's okay. I wanted to see him a bit more when it comes to roaming, but where is he actually able to roam? That's the biggest problem at the moment. I mean, you can just do some harass here on this line because it's the only safest. Oh, but look at, he's just getting lifted into it. There's a sentry ward. He's baiting out that sentry ward, and he's actually dying. But maybe to get a revenge on a Rubik, it's not gonna be enough. Even Skylark has to just run away because Critic is just gone full YOLO now with the rockets also top at the same time. Look at all these zombies on Madara. He will survive this one, but again, same combo and all the time under attack. Skylark, he wanted to D-ward, maybe that sentry. He wants to go for the root, but look at this, there's still a snowball. He's going forward, and one more right click with the stick. It's not enough. Now, both dying at the same time.
Mutually assured destruction there, and up in top lane, we could have a pretty big fight breaking out. They're going to net down Madara, but the Bounty Hunter's coming in on the Steph style with the Shuriken. They'll bring down the Naga, and Eris Loka doesn't have a Tombstone available. Slowed down with so many quills onto him. Looks like he's going to go down. Decay or not, a double kill for Madara. That's a big amount of gold going London Conspiracy's way, and they needed it. LemdonDogs were winning all 3 lanes up until this point.
Yep, and that's pretty much also the revenge he wanted to have. I mean, he died twice in that line with that combination, and finally he got his revenge. That was so badly needed for him and his farm. So finally Madara back to line, getting something decent together. He actually goes for a bottle. Okay, that's very interesting. Getting some regeneration, especially mana for Brazil, is early game very important. Then look at this, Templar Assassin being found here. We have no track yet. This is level 5, so he could help himself with melt, but if he doesn't even have it now, Spartan, he's in trouble. There's a sentry ward, pop, and he's going down again. Look at this, does not get the last right click in. Even the net is now coming down. There's a much of a machine, and you really gotta be careful, but it should be enough just for a Tinker kill. The Creed is real, but look at the Templar Assassin, not getting enough damage there from the Marching Machine. What kind of level is that? That was level 4. Felt like it did really nothing.
Yeah, it really just wasn't the amount of damage that they need to kill off this TA. It's very unreliable, March to the Machine, so that works out so well for LemdonDogs. The Templar Assassin was really under no real threat, even without Meld, as you mentioned, at that point. It doesn't seem to really matter. The Refraction kept her safe against most of the damage from London Conspiracy, and they're gonna start putting a lot of pressure onto the enemy's side. Across the board, the team of LemdonDogs are doing very well in their lanes. Although they're not stopping this Bristle and Tinker from farming, they're getting kills, and that's probably better.
Yeah, the Tinker should not have rotated in there, but they really wanted to try that. I think with the track or anything, that might have been better, because they couldn't even be sure if a meld was up or not. I mean, yes, he saw it in line, but he had just recently a level up, so he could have had meld, and then there was just nothing to do there. Also, nice rotation, of course, by the LemdonDogs support. And then this double kill that kind of threw away what Madara kind of achieved there.
Bounty and Tuscan mid. They're going to rotate behind the Templar Assassin. They're going to catch eyes onto her very shortly. They don't have detection on the ground, but now with the Zeus Bolt they will. Walling her off, but that Refraction absorbs a lot of the damage. But now that she's forced to run forward, she's going to pop another Refraction, look to meld and turn, but she will end up going down. Big rotation from London Conspiracy, but worth it.
Yep, at the same time also the Depressor back. He was so deep on the tower. Krilly actually rotated in, and that was net, and everything popped here by the Undying as well as the Naga Siren, and yeah, he's going down at the same time. I tried to somehow find out who's gonna die first, but well, it was pretty much at the same time. So in the mid it was surprisingly long how long that took, but oh, look at that. That's an easy kill. He just pops the sentry ward right before he's going down, but Bounty Hunter, easy level 6 for him.
Yeah, now a track on the board. London Conspiracy can look to turn a couple of these engagements, and if they can, even trades are gonna favor them, and well, the game would look a lot better if they had track for the early portion of this game. Tusk invised up. Going to be pretty deep on enemy lines. It looks like he's gonna spot out the Naga, but killing off Steph's style, not the easiest. She does have 7 armor, but I think it's possible with maxed out ice shards, if it is just the Tusk and Naga Siren.
And the Tusk. Well, finding Naga here is not really the right thing anyway, because can you actually kill her? 7 armor.
With 280 damage coming out from the ice shards, they are maxed out. I think he can secure that kill. Stuffstyle doesn't have 6, although she's going to get it soon, the Naga. I think they could TP the bounty down bottom and get a very easy track kill.
Sorry, ready? G! There we go. Now we have to see. Maybe with the rotation here, just to be 100% on that tower, that might actually do the trick, but at the moment, he's holding back. This is also just level 1 snowball.
They're not going to go for it. It's a little bit sad, but regardless, the game will continue. Triple stack of Ancients up and ready for the Templar Assassin whenever she chooses to take. That will be a nice influx of gold for them, and in general, LemdonDogs' team is very good at taking Ancients between the Gyro and the TA. Gyrocopter has moved his way up into the top lane. Krilly is doing quite well for himself when it comes to farm, and in his absence, Stephstyle is going to get some space in the Naga. Already up to Arcane Boots. As a support, this is reasonable farm, to be sure. But it looks like the action is slowed down a bit, and they'll bring Krilly back down bot again.
Yeah, Krilly like had that small rotation top, and now he's bottom. Maybe not even a good idea because Spartan is already going on him. There are some creeps here to soak. There's a snowball. They're actually going for it, but there's a song. And with that song, they're definitely gonna make it out. They even almost fed their courier right there. And now it comes to turn around. Look at this. Into the call down and everything. Is there anything to interrupt? Yes, they interrupt both. One with the telekinesis and the other one died anyway. So that really hurt. And that's the dangerous part about LemdonDogs with the Naga.
Yeah, it is a very long cooldown, the Song of the Siren, but it works out so very wonderfully for LemdonDogs the first time they use it. Oh dear. Not this again, but even if they were lagging, I'm not sure there was much to save them after that really timely song coming out from Stephstyle. The burst damage is high from that combination coming out from the Bounty and Tusk, but it's just not quite enough to kill off the Gyrocopter in one cycle, so yeah, we'll go back into this game. Looks like Stephstyle shares a pretty similar opinion to me.
Yep. Well, let's actually see how's the ping of everyone here. Like, looks relatively good. The Chinese caster is highest, then comes you. Obviously, well, looks okay-ish, but well, if there's lag, there's lag. There's nothing you can do. Unless you gave them like some Siberian server.
Oh no, it was, yeah, it was
Mike.
fine server-wise.
Yeah,
it was Mike. Tier 1 tower in bottom lane. They'll be able to take this down with the Ring of Aquila turned on coming out from Corelli. They'll be able to tank this pretty much indefinitely. It doesn't look like London Conspiracy have much interest in contesting that. It's going to be a nice win for LemdonDogs across the board. Although the Tinker is starting to pick up quite a lot of farm. He has his Boots of Travel completed on top of his Soul Ring bottle.
And in the mid, TA doesn't even think about leaving. Like, the only time she actually left her lane was just for that bounty kill, but they actually came rather for her than anything else, so she's just doing fine. And look at this Rubik. Well, that's a bit far out, to be honest. Nice block here, held in place, and kill secured.
Yeah, they'll be able to secure it, and that's a track kill involved for 3 heroes. Although Spartan is currently tracked himself, the bounty hunter getting a taste of his own medicine. He's going to walk up here. It doesn't look like Spartan recognized that he's tracked. They'll drop a sentry, net him down, they'll look for the TP. The damage might be there, and it will. And dying with the decay will come through, and that was a questionable move. Lagging or not, that's just, yeah.
What the hell just happened? Spartan, are you drunk? He was tracked and just going up, so either this pauses because his entire team is laughing at him, or he's lagging and just going to the wrong base, or he's drunk and mistakenly took it for the wrong base, or anything. Something along those lines. Something must be going on.
Even if you're lagging, unless you're completely out of it, like, there's no way you make that move. He must have not seen the track indicator on him. I think that's the only explanation.
He just said, "Oh God."
Well, I mean, that would be my reaction too, as the bounty hunter walking uphill into 2 enemy heroes, but that's expected when you're tracked yourself.
Well, we have to see where this one is going with Spartan. He says, "Oh God," I can just assume that is him saying like, "Oh my God, I missed that track. That was on me." Who knows? Either way, they're gonna be happy because that was a nice track kill. So the Rubik did, after all, die for a good cause. So nobody is to blame there. We are 12 minutes in. The advantage at the moment is really just slightly for LemdonDogs, even though they look, when it comes to these fights and games, much better. So we haven't seen so far any crazy action from the Tinker, but he has all the basic items he needs. There is a bottle, there is a Soul Ring. He's going for the BOTs, or like he has the BOTs up and is now starting to tinker around, which is of course the very nice thing to do, but he has to be careful. In mid, for example, there are a lot of heroes, but the good thing is you can really activate Marching Machine, and at this level it hurts. Level 4 Marching Machine fighting into that's mostly more than you actually have the HP for.
Yeah, if you take a look at Zeroji's health pool, that's just after 2 rockets thrown his way coming up from the Tinker. Bounty Hunter going pretty deep. He's into his stuff, smoked up, might bump into the Templar Assassin. They're going to drop Zeus ultimate, but in the meantime, it's going to be the Zeus to die. Everybody's so low from LemdonDogs. Can Bounty Hunter secure any of these kills? It looks like not. He was spotted out, but the fight's not over yet. Mid lane, the Tusk is going to bump into the Gyrocopter. One shot is all that Skylark is going to take, and the Bounty Hunter is still here. This is a dangerous spot to be.
But the Tinker rocket that flew out about to kill the Naga was dodged by a rocket, which is an amazing thing to do. I mean, he spent a smoke with it, but which is still, I guess it's worth it. This the cost of a smoke, and you not dying. Yeah, that makes sense.
Another rocket's thrown out. Going to be absorbed by Templar Assassin's Refaction. I'm really surprised that Bounty Hunter wasn't able to secure any of those kills. That was 3 heroes that were very low, but they just stayed so defensively positioned. With no backup, I can understand him not going that deep.
Yep, I mean, you think he couldn't really do anything there at this point. I actually thought he's also going for more laser, just for the laning than rockets, but he really wanted his rockets as well. Still, I already said that the smoke was really nice. Krilly, all the time more or less farm, and he's not going for any Joker build like we had it yesterday with the Arcanum Scepter. He's just going for the traditional one. I don't know, no rocket till like very forever.
Blink in mid, Templar Assassin. They're going to go into the Zeus with the Meld Strike and a little bit more damage. They'll commit a song for this. And let's see if they'll be able to secure all 3 of these kills. They're setting up nicely for the call down, going to connect right on time. They'll blow up the Zeus. He gets up his ultimate beforehand. Marching Machines is on the ground, doing a lot of damage to Grilly and company, but they'll be able to heal up through this. The Undying Tombstone's doing a lot of work, and Templar Assassin going deep will be able to secure herself a double kill. Madera's over on the side, being chased by like 4 zombies or something ridiculous like that, and now slowed to a crawl. They'll blink forward again. E-Skills has a fresh retraction. They won't be able to eat through it. Triple kill for the Templar Assassin. A big fight for LemdonDogs.
Yep, no bounty hunter, no nothing. If they kill this tower right there, then they can't even keep that sentry ward. It's very nice what LemdonDogs do, because now at this time of the game they have absolutely advantage, especially they can play around with the Naga and everything. So taking all the advantage you can get right now is just the best thing you can do. The bounty hunter wasn't even part of this fight. There was not a single track or anything he could have done. Maybe with multiple tracks and some shuriken tosses just for additional damage might have been interesting, but yeah, it just didn't work. And also Martial Machine, it felt so weak with the entire clutch that went on.
Yeah, it did a good amount of damage. It was most of the London Conspiracy damage output, but it just wasn't enough. Oh, Tombstone, they caught out Spartan behind the tower, and Bounty Hunter is going to go down again. If they have another way to detect him, the missile's going to fly. They know he's down towards the south, and he might end up dying with or without it. No, they have no way to catch him, and although Decay is going to connect, Spartan is just fine.
It's ridiculous how many sentry wards they pop for that Spartan, but it's good. He's draining gold out of the enemy team at the moment. Like, this is, one was popped before, the other one was popped here, just in the mid for protection. This one was popped pretty much under tower vision as well. Okay, this time they were actually successful with this one because they had no means to actually get this one. But still, like, he's at least doing something, keeping them busy.
As far as the item progression for both teams is concerned, you have a mechanism completed up on the Undying, and oh, you have the phase drums, the Keela for the gyrocopter, and pretty comparable items on the enemy side, as well as Bristleback's getting very close to having a completed Crimson Guard.
Oh, this is bad. The Rubik has now invisibility. The Shadow Walk, even if it's just level 1, it's always very convenient. You can go wherever you want, and then you just go for that nice initiation, so that doesn't really work out. Also, I think the invisibility rune was spotted out here in the mid when he just crossed that sentry down here into the jungle. But talking about the jungle, they find Grilly here, but Spartan not fast enough. There's the Janada, slow, and they go for it. There's the snowball, but the rotation's already coming. They're in the call down, taking so much damage. Look at all of this. They survive easily, and Skylark now in trouble. There's the net, and that's an easy kill for them. The rotation really had to come. Bounty Hunter, well visible, and there's of course no detection on E-Skill. Madara, well, far away at this point, so they only lose one, but that one was a very bold move.
Yeah, very ambitious coming out from Len Conspiracy. Even if it was just
God.
the gyro.
Look at this. This is so mean what they just did. This is so mean what they just did. He lifts him up on the high ground. Yeah, and interrupts the TP. Now he's stuck there till the next TP comes. That's another 60 seconds for him.
Let's see. Oh, Tinker getting blown up by E-Skills. But, yeah, in theory, they could snowball him down if there was any enemy close by that they could pull him in. But down in bottom lane, the fight will continue with Tombstone on the deck. Looks like LemdonDogs will find themselves a very easy 2-2 tower.
It's just, I don't know, Madara is standing here, has to wait another 30 seconds while his tier 2 tower is going down. Like, even the Tombstone pop for this one, well, there's just nothing they can do. Some tracks are coming up now, that's of course good. But, man, if they actually keep track of how much second there is on a TP, they could even, one of them could come back and just interrupt the second TP. That would be so mean. I mean, seriously, that would be next level mean.
Without having the Tinker, this is a 3v5 fight, and even though pretty much everybody's tracked, they'll get a lot of damage onto this tier 3. They won't be able to outright take it since Tinker is respawning very shortly, but Rubik also got his hands onto track, so the Bounty Hunter is being kept tabs of 100% of the time, at least until that expires.
And he TP'd out, so no interrupt there. Even though they came in back in time, like, in theory, on a drive-by way, they could have just interrupted the second TP. Instead 120 seconds on the high ground for Roshan. Well, you don't need to spend the observer there. Like, you always have to see the bright side of life, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's still a big swing of events for LemdonDogs. They're getting quite a lot of momentum now, up to a 5,000 net worth lead, and moderate 1,700 experience advantage for their team. But still, Light Conspiracy are getting the items that they need on the Tinker especially. He has his Blink Bot, Soul Ring, Bottle, and even with just this, the Tinker can make a constant nuisance of himself across the map. But if the Tinker gets picked off, that's the worst case scenario for London Conspiracy. And with no Ghost Scepter, no Yules, or anything of the sort, the Templar Assassin can very easily do that by herself. Well, Roshan, it's going to be attempted by London Conspiracy. They have the minus armor coming out from the goo and a reasonable amount of physical damage, but if LemdonDogs were anywhere close, their team fight around the Roshan pit, even without the Song of the Siren, is
they're
very
coming.
potent.
They saw the Zeus using it, and oh my goodness, they're really coming from there. Smart Machine, well, that would at least secure the time where they're going in. There is some tracking coming out, but also a rocket flying here on Spartan. Now more and more tracks in a nice position, but oh, Skylark already getting initiated on. He has to use a snowball. If he doesn't use a snowball, yes, he's gonna be dead. And there's even a cooldown on too. So much damage right now, and the Naga holding them all in place. They're so swift and everything. So Spartan is going down. That's the second one. Sigil is not really doing anything here, so they have to retreat, but I'm not even sure they can retreat. There is a rocket on maybe next time, so he is kind of screwed. That rocket will follow him even if he jukes out, and boom, there we go. I don't think he saw that rocket even on his butt, so that's bad news. So bad news for Long Conspiracy at this point.
Yeah, and during this fight, there was tracks coming out from the Rubik. That's a lot of gold for the team, even though LemdonDogs are the ones ahead. London Conspiracy are just getting caught out one too many times, and now Roshan's going to cleanly go into LemdonDogs' favor with an Aegis onto this Templar Assassin. She can go headlong into the enemy team, and things are looking very difficult for London Conspiracy. When you have this bounty, you want heroes that can follow them up and get the kills very easily, and although they have a reasonable amount, it just doesn't seem to be enough. As long as LemdonDogs group up and go for these 5-man pushes, it's going to be difficult into the March of the Machines, but yeah, this is a difficult situation to be in, to say the least.
Difficult is also like the fact that the Tinker just doesn't have much farm. I mean, much farm in comparison to his enemy. That's the biggest problem. All they use
Dust.
Dust on the Bounty Hunter, but they don't have the vision where he actually is. He takes that bounce rune and then he just runs for his life. But what did he just steal? Again, Shadow Walk on the Rubik. This is I think the two spells of the Rubik, say of the Bounty Hunter, you actually steal the most, which is the Shadow Walk and the track. They're so useful on the Rubik. It's unbelievable like how good they are, because you can just easily go for initiations. Look at this. Now the Rubik, he wants track. You can just literally wait next to the Bounty Hunter and just wait till he tracks. Then you steal that. So now you can turn it all around and give your own team, which is anyway getting good kills, even more gold.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to keep the Rubik from getting tracked since you're giving away your position every time you cast that spell. And you have to use the spell if you're Bounty Hunter. There's no way about it. That's kind of why you pick the hero. Top lane tier 1 gonna be taken out by E-Skills very easily with the Desolator, and while the London Conspiracy in the meantime are getting some farm up on the Bristleback as he takes some Ancients and some farm in their own woods. That's going to be stopping very shortly, as LemdonDogs might just keep on going.
I don't see a reason why they wouldn't go. I mean, yes, fighting against marked machines might not be the best idea, but they could still do some chip damage. Maybe find someone like Spartan. They just saw it with the illusions. There's a Psy Trap, there's a Dust, and oh, Spartan again caught out, and nothing he can do. Absolutely nothing he can do. That's the downside of a Bounty Hunter. You still see the animation of the next Shadow Walk, even if you're in Shadow Walk. And thanks to the Naga illusion scouting for them, they had an easy go on him.
Yeah, and now the Rubik gets a track kill for 4 of his teammates. It's a huge amount of gold for LemdonDogs. Even though the TA's track, that's not going to be lasting for much longer, and they're just going to go straight for this tier 2. Tinker, at his current state, doesn't have enough mana to sustain himself indefinitely. He's going to have to go back to base, and he will be forced to do just that. Yeah, they're going to TP back. They'll have a TP away by the Tusk, and that's going to save his life for now. Up in top lane, Rainbow of TPs, the Bounty Hunter's coming in, tracks up Zeroji with the Zeus ultimate. They'll catch vision on both of them, but the Templar Assassin could just turn onto the track. Spartan Melt Strike, and the Bounty Hunter's going to go down again, Fade bolted by the Rubik. And now Gyrocopter comes in from the south. That was so ill-advised coming out from London Conspiracy.
Now you thought there's like more reinforcement coming, but it's not coming, so Spartan going down again, like giving the track to the Rubik is just such a bad idea. I mean, this is only level 1, so this is 200 gold for the Rubik. That's why the Rubik is, by the way, also so rich. And also the TA, of course, getting the 75 gold there, being the assistant in all of this. And this is really just bad news. It's 22 and 7. Looking at the advantage while they go for the tier 2 tower, this is 8k, 9k advantage at the moment for LemdonDogs. I mean, they still have a good defense just by marching machines and everything, but that's pretty much everything. I mean, the Zeus of all is now the one who's split pushing a tiny bit. Not someone who could actually do it, but yeah, well, at the moment, they just have to see somehow where do we get farm. There's not much left on the map.
And even the farm that they are going to get is going to compare to what LemdonDogs are picking up. And even on their supports, look at Stepstyle's inventory. He just bought a gem. He's halfway towards Aghanim Scepter on this Naga Siren. And the map control that London Conspiracy once had is going to be completely down the drain. And although theoretically Tinker's split pushing ability is pretty good, when you don't have vision on the map, it's so scary to go for that. And London Conspiracy are going to find difficulty staying afloat and keeping themselves inside this game.
Yep, and now LemdonDogs, I actually had the feeling they could go and push forward, which they also should do. Don't run the risk that like London Conspiracy somehow finds a way back, because at the moment they're on the back foot. There's just no question about it. Like, LemdonDogs has at this point more track kills than, for example, London Conspiracy has, which is a very sad story. The Rubik is completely replacing the bounty hunter on the pitch, and the bounty hunter finding himself always in a position where he's either getting caught out due to nice scouting or nice warding by LemdonDogs. Also, the D-warding here at the moment is completely mental what they do. It's just not working out. So one Temple Assassin who can snowball properly already and is snowballing. We have the Gyrocopter with 25 minutes farm. That is Sanga Yasha, Drums, Aquila. And now comes the Demon Edge, which is probably gonna be MKB, so you don't even need to start with any sort of evasion. Like, for example, on the Bristleback, if that Sanj is going into a halberd or anything, it's really just coming down to anyone else, of course, missing on him, plus the fact that he has a disarm, but that's it.
Yeah, it's not a pretty picture. Now you have a Solar Crest up to the end dying, and the same really can't be said by about the London Conspiracy sports. You have the Solar Crest up for the Tusk, and that's nice and all, but the Zeus and the Bounty Hunter just aren't getting the income that they need to stay relevant inside these fights. If they get picked off or get caught out, they're completely dead, and look at that. That's the completed Ags for Stepstyle. Yeah, with this Aghanim Scepter up in the Naga Siren, pushing high ground gets a lot easier for LemdonDogs. March Machines are not. They have that reset button. Whenever they pop it, that's 42% of the max health coming out from LemdonDogs restored. It almost completely undoes all of the work that London Conspiracy would have done when going for that high ground defense. Smoke going to be scouted by Zeus Ultimate. That's pretty good. LemdonDogs probably won't be able to find anything with this, but even if they don't find any kills, London Conspiracy are forced to play so defensively because they know that the enemy is smoked.
It's not just that, it's also the Naga starting to be like quite a nuisance. Like, her illusions are now going anywhere, and whoa, what just happened? What just happened?
I have no idea what this bounty hunter is doing.
What just happened? He died here.
He just walked there and got...
Did they bait with the courier? No. Something crazy was going on. Either way, we're not gonna find out.
There was no courier bait as far as I could see. I don't know.
They just put the tombstone there, and they try to actually go for it. Now Madara even being stunned, they have to use something. They have to get that tombstone down ASAP, but he's getting soul for the second time. Like, come on, get it down already. There it goes, 150 gold. Yes, that's good news, but everything else, that's not really it. And look at this, the song is on, and the regeneration is popping in. Look at them go. Everybody's full HP. However, they give up. Look at it, they're really greedy. They really want to go for something. Madara, they can't chase into this. The Naga Illusions, Riptide debuff up on everyone, plus the Psionic Traps. Like, by the time you reach LemdonDogs, you have 0 armor left and you're already half HP. It's ridiculous. Like, no hero was involved. This was just the residual debuffs and illusions.
Oh no. That smoke was spotted out by a Psionic Trap coming out from the TA, and suddenly with that, London Conspiracy's somewhat last-ditch effort to find a couple of pickoffs isn't going to be successful, I want to say. And maybe LemdonDogs just want to take the fight to them. They're going to group up, go into their own woods, and it looks like Spartan might again be biting the bullet. They're going to bump into the Rubik, blinking in. The Templar Assassin will blow up the Bounty Hunter. Rubik's down to half HP, but he'll survive, healed up by the Undying. Now Madara will go down, triple kill, and godlike spree for E-skills.
That was not really worth that whole rotation. Did anyone die from LemdonDogs? No.
Not even close. With the amount of sustain that they have, it's
I thought the Rubik
very
was
difficult.
close, but yeah.
He dropped down to less than half HP, but...
I kind of took his, I don't know, his death for granted, but then apparently everyone else died. What I kind of regret is, like, we don't see any Tinker action here whatsoever. I mean, look, much of the machine is running, but LemdonDogs is like, Okay, cool story. There's some machines in the air, nobody really cares. I mean, okay, now it starts to do some damage, but not before that Rex is actually down. So mid is going down, there's a nice... Oh, that one was actually close. The shuriken toss bouncing between all of them, and that rocket... Nope, just getting the last two. I mean, let's be honest, like the original game plan of London Conspiracy was to track a lot of people with an aggressive Spartan play, have Kaiser play a Tinker who will rocket pretty much everyone, and there's no way you can actually hide from a Tinker except for smoke. If you use a smoke, then you can actually disjoin the rocket. That's the only thing you can do. But other than that, that was, I think, like really the aggressive game plan. The Tinker was shut down quite early. Spartan died very, very often, and is now, of course, more or less soaked by the Rubik when it comes to his abilities, even the track and the Shadow Walk. So LemdonDogs, they actually managed to turn it completely around, the whole game plan.
Yep. The good news for London Conspiracy is that they do have a full hex up for the Tinker. That's going to help out a lot, especially whenever Templar Assassin's BKB is worn off. But during that duration of the BKB, she has a Daedalus. She's taking somebody down with her, and probably won't die because she has so much backup. This is getting to the realm of unwinnable for London Conspiracy. They'll start dropping some marching machines in the pit and try to go for Roshan, but that's just not going to happen. And that used to be a bounty hunter. It's not a bounty hunter anymore. He's just a bloodstain.
Yeah, a bloodstain. I think that was about a one-shot by the Templar Assassin. That was an easy melt hit right there. No, it wasn't even actually. It was not a melt hit. It was just a normal hit plus some residual damage from whatever else came in there. So, well, bad.
Yeah, 27-7. This game got completely out of hand for London Conspiracy. At about 15 minutes into this game, it was looking fairly even. They were getting a good amount, even though the Gyrocopter, or the Bounty Hunter was getting picked off, and the Gyrocopter and Templar Assassin were farming. They were still doing well in the Tinker and the Bristleback, but it never felt like London Conspiracy ever took the next step and transitioned into a spot where they could take fights. And a lot of that comes down to them going way too aggressive in a couple of instances, just diving way too deep, especially down in bottom. Bounty Hunter Tusk Dive onto the Gyrocopter getting turned around, and then at a certain point Templar Assassin was just unmanageable, and even throughout the entire game, the TA is 11-1-5. She really hasn't had any pressure applied to her.
Definitely Madara. Is that actually too close what he does here? Oh, he's getting 4-staff back. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Nice timing. But in the end, Eris Loco, aren't she a bit too close? There's the song. Everybody's getting healed up. It's just ridiculous. That cooldown is gonna glimpse both. Actually, the song taken off a bit too late still. It should be just fine here maybe next time. If he TP's out, nope, that's not gonna be enough. Madara, however, he actually makes it out. He has a haste rune. Everything should just be fine, but in the end, no. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, I think London Conspiracy at this point just have to consider what's going to happen next game. Oh, Madara, he's going to look for a TP out, and he's going to succeed. That missile just takes way too long coming out from the Gyrocopter, and he didn't get a lucky MKB proc onto the Bristleback, but, you know, it probably doesn't matter. They'll track up Krilly, but this game is looking all but over. London Conspiracy need their Tinker to be alive, and during this duration, it looks like LemdonDogs should be able to find probably another set of barracks, or at least a couple of good fights going the way. In theory, if London Conspiracy are able to turn some engagements, get some track gold going into their pockets, and get this Tinker and Bristleback to 6-slotted status, maybe they could turn this one around, but that's a very, very tall order.
Yep, and look at it go. The Undying. So aggressive. Just Tombstone forward, going into Madara. Look at all this damage to side plates, actually even on the Susan. The Susan is like half HP just from that. They go directly for the racks, and now we have to see if Lone Conspiracy can actually mount a defense here. I kinda doubt it, but fall down. He's gonna hit on 2 or 3. The second one even on Spartan. Spartan has to be really careful. The zombies are already on him. 4 stuff forward, trying to do something, but that Tombstone is doing so much work still. The racks are going down, and LemdonDogs, like a completely reborn team, they're going back. There's no reason to stay there for range tracks. Range tracks are completely overrated. In reality, they're absolutely useless. So yeah, go back. Don't even bother with it.
Yeah, it's not like they have to actually go there to get the range barracks. It's going to fall eventually. The chances are very high that the creeps will just do it, and even with just the melee creeps down there, Tinker is going to have to invest so much time dealing with bottom and mid that I am not sure that they really have it in them to defend, and just going for these high ground sieges is just going to be so very difficult. You have an Aghanim Scepter up for this Rubik, and that's scary. The ultimates that you can steal this game that get Aghanim upgraded are... It's Zeus, pretty much. I'm not sure how it interacts with Tinker. I'd assume that you get the upgrade for Heat-Seeking Missile and Laser.
Well, I just have one question to you, Grandis. Like, do you
Okay.
actually think London Conspiracy can really take this? I'm very negative at this point, and usually I should not do this because I also know London Conspiracy has a lot of like combat potential. But looking at this draft and looking at the last fight, like nothing of that fight was a direct interaction hero versus hero. It was a tombstone and a call down and side traps, zoning them out. That was everything, and then they just went for it.
Yeah, I hate to be so negative about their chances this game, but I think it's fair to say this is almost over. The Undying Tombstone's down on the ground, and they're going to try to run forward. Zeus Ultimate's going to be turned by the Rubik. Aghanim upgraded. They'll kill off the Tombstone, get a good Shuriken bounce to 3 heroes. They'll hex up E-Skills, trying to focus down this Templar Assassin. She does have an Aegis, but now Song. And with that Song, they're going to be almost at full HP again. LemdonDogs can very cleanly disengage here and wait for the next Tombstone if they want to.
This Song, farmed Naga, I said it earlier, what happens if you let the Naga farm. And I'm not talking about a carry Naga, I'm talking about a support Naga. It's just ridiculous. I mean, how much is it? Like, let's actually go through this because like I actually did math already on this earlier. It's 6% per health, 7 seconds duration. That's 42% of the health. So let's round it up. It's 50% of your health is pretty much restored on a percentage basis by the Naga Siren, which means normal HPS, maybe a mech or anything else like a earn charge. You can actually reset everybody almost to full HP of your team and then just restart the fight. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not very pretty for London Conspiracy. The good news is it isn't a level 16 Naga, so they only have to worry about that once every 2 minutes, but well, Zeus Ultimate going to be dropped. They're going to scout out this rotation coming out from LemdonDogs, but they're just not getting enough income, and LemdonDogs have 2 sets of barracks up at this point. They're taking it slow, and I think that's fair enough coming out from LemdonDogs. There's no reason to throw this game, but their late game is amazing. A 6-slotted TA, 6-slotted Gyrocopter, probably can't be stopped. They'll clear up the creep wave, and although this is pushing into March of the Scenes coming up from Tinker, and Bristleback is pushing bottom. Yeah, this is smooth sailing for them.
Yeah, Madara has to be careful though, like anyone could just rotate in, like for example these two supports the Naga Siren. Is there a Song ready? No, it's not a level 3 Song, she can't really spam that out. Blink forward, but they didn't really find him with a side trap, and Bristleback is just trying in the nighttime, going from tree to tree, like over here, like doing the guerrilla moves, and he could TP out, but he's greedy, he wants to save that 100 HP. He's just hiding, and that's probably the furthest away spot you can take besides this one, so yeah, mostly people don't bother to look there. So he's kind of safe, for now at least.
Yeah, and he has a TP. He could join his team for the impending high ground push. Aegis the Immortal isn't available for LemdonDogs anymore, and Roshan doesn't have the potential to be up for 2 minutes.
Rubik was seen by the Zeus. Zeus just wanted to D-ward, but suddenly he found the Rubik there, and like there's the panic TP. That's probably the best thing to do. What did the Rubik steal? I think there was a lightning bolt right there. Yeah, that's a lightning bolt. Okay, that's not bad for Rubik. For Rubik to have. It's some nice burst damage. You can initiate with it and then just go for anything else.
Yeah, it's completely fine with such a low cooldown as spell steal. He can take whatever he wants inside these fights. So LemdonDogs will keep up the pressure on all of these lanes. It's pushing right into London Conspiracy's front door, and it looks like they're going to try for his third and final set of barracks. The ranged barracks in bottom still stands, but at least final melee barracks. So get the hex onto E-Skills. He wasn't able to pop the BKB, but he's taking literally no damage. His refraction just got eaten.
They can slow siege at this point, I think. To be honest, Naga illusions, everything, just going for the tower. Like you just saw what the TA did, for example, just run in, chip the tower once, and blink out. They could. Funny thing is they could really repeat that. Now that they are, of course, they are tracked, which means the Tinker with the rocket spam can really do a lot, but also not as much as it would be required to like go for kills.
Yeah, it's difficult against the March of the Machines. LemdonDogs are having a bit of a hard time working around this Tinker, and yeah, so they're not going to be able to outright take this third set of barracks without having an Aegis. They won't feel super comfortable, but that Aegis the Immortal is going to be back up sooner rather than later, in the next 3 minutes at the very least, and once they have that, it's almost impossible. Ooh, Lotus Orb coming up from the end, dying. I don't think Lotus Orb is... I don't know, it's not going to be the best here for reflecting spells, but...
Oh, why not?
Sure, yeah, why not? It makes high ground pushing a lot easier. Yeah.
Nasal Ghoul, Laser, a lot of stuff can be reflected here. That's totally fine, in my opinion. And look at this, they just go for the slow siege. 305 HP, 211, like, maybe this is gonna take about 10 years, but eventually this one is going down. And also the longer they are here in the top line, like, all completely combined, the more is mid and bottom going on. At the moment, of course, the Bounty Hunter is totally happy because, like, everybody is tracked off, and wait, the Rubik is now repeating the entire thing, so we're gonna have soon 10 tracked people. Everybody has their little red skirt up, it's all cool.
Range barracks in mid going to fall, and the tier 3 tower from top is down to 76 HP. They're going to get a lift up onto Spartan, trying to pull him down to the low ground, but Rubik not quite able to get that through. Yeah, this is the slowest of slow sieges, but it's getting there. LemdonDogs are working towards it.
Yeah. The Naga is also helping with illusions, like in the mids with Riptide. The minus armor on creeps, then the super creeps are pushing even faster in, so in theory they could just keep going. They have to sustain, in my opinion, to just go for the slow siege, but at the moment they don't go for it, which is, I guess, fine. Roshan is an option in about 2 minutes, so, well, that's not really something you want to do there. LondonCons, they're holding on in this El Clasico. These two teams, they chose each other as their rivals all the time, and LondonCons is usually the favorite. However, LemdonDogs, they look so much better in this game, and they also have one series up, no matter what reason. But yeah, maybe it's this urge for revenge that, you know.
Glimmered up, Templar Assassin got to jump in with the DD rune. Oh my goodness, sorry, that used to be a Tusk. Inside mid, Madera's going to be netted down, tracked up. Rispak's going to take a little bit of damage, but he's getting a couple of lucky misses. Madera's still below half health, and no, with the Lotus Orb, he'll be able to turn around. Now the Gyrocopter's joining the fray. The flat cannon damage is immense. The stolen rockets will fly towards into the Zeus, and Tinker's forced to buy back, but it looks like LemdonDogs have done it. Spartan, we'll call GG.
Yep, and I think that was a very timely GG. Now the trolling begins. Well, it was a very nice game, to be honest, but I think too many mistakes were made in the beginning. Like, the Bounty Hunter didn't really work out. Spartan was caught a lot of times, I have to say. The whole snowball little dives also didn't really work out. Skylark never really got the play together. And I said it earlier already, just the lanes, how they unfolded. For example, Madara dying twice early, there was no way for Spartan to rotate in mid. Templar Assassin is not a hero you can really like rotate in and roam on him as a bounty hunter as well. So it's just the whole concept didn't really work out. That's how it felt. I think Grant has already left me. He probably wanted to go for a drink or whatever. Anyway, guys, we're going into game number 2 here in about 5 minutes. So be right back.